Hello everyone. So sorry we were having technical difficulties with that other video. I was trying to have fun with some little special effects. I guess I better practice on that. So I'm going to do part two because I'm not sure what, what happened with my first one. But we're all in a learning process, right? Oh my goodness, that's just crazy. So anyway, it's Debbie Chen with Only Essentials for You because we don't have time for the fluff and stuff. Just talking about what's most important to you, and hope you all are having a fun evening. I was just telling the story about how we've been actually doing that poll here on my page about our favorite candies, whether it's Kit Kat or Reese's, and I haven't actually had a chance. Hey, Caleb. I haven't had a chance to check the polls, but to see which was winning. But it was kind of fun when tonight my husband brought home a nice big bag of candies because I'll tell you a little secret. Our little family tradition is that we buy a big bag of candies and they don't go out the front door. So, and my son today, when my youngest said, I like that tradition. So, and we don't get very many trick-or-treaters anyway, but we still have fun. So, my husband brought home a bag that had both the Kit Kat and the Reese's, and yes, had to indulge, and it was quite lovely. So hopefully you guys are enjoying some of that fun tonight as well. And those, on the replay, hope you had fun. Hopefully not in too much of a sugar coma. Yeesh, yeah. So in light of this Halloween and costume season and fall festival and all that good stuff, it seemed appropriate to kind of talk about masks because a lot of us are of that age and generation. Oh, hey Diana, good to see you. And that we're realizing that we have been putting on many masks over our lifetime, and probably for very good reasons. But what starts to happen is we're obviously not showing our authentic self. And that could be either what? Could it be from fear of rejection? Yeah, who likes that, right? Or, need for approval. Or, there are valid things. But there's some real benefits when we start to take that mask off. And actually, speaking of masks, totally off subject, but I was just thinking about in this season that it's cooler weather and it's pretty dry, and also since tonight a lot of us are in Pride, that could be, Diana, that could be another big one, a mask, very much so. But the interesting thing on that, I don't know if you caught one of my other videos, we were talking about how we can also see that in other people. And so our first reaction is, well, I want to go and rip that person's mask off and really see who they are because I'm tired of that mask of pride or whatnot. I want to see who they really are. But it really starts with ourselves, right? That we're responsible for ourselves and to be our best selves, because when we're our best, doesn't that bring out other people's best, right? So coming back to the whole thing before I forget, about with dry skin and masks and so forth, is a really great way to treat yourself is to use some frankincense essential oil. And I'm just gonna open it. I'm just gonna, oh my gosh, I gotta take a moment. Seriously, it's amazing. When I feel like when I'm smelling it, it's like I feel like the Queen of Sheba or whatnot. But that's just a great little quick treatment. Is you put a couple of drops of the frankincense oil in your hand, a little bit of coconut oil, use it all over your face or any dry patches in your skin, and you just smell like it amazingly. But also in the morning, it's your skin is going to feel so rejuvenated and soft, and it's not like some of the synthetic lotions and stuff that just kind of wash off. But frankincense oil in and of itself is a regenerator, among other things, of skin cells, used in anti-aging, super powerful. Hey, Kathy, good to see you. But that's my little thing. So if you don't want to I was just thinking like we're dressing up like Queen of Sheba or whatever, you can still put a little frankincense oil and you're going to have that same effect, but even better effects than all the candy and stuff too. So coming back to peeling off our own masks, one of the things too is when sometimes we're afraid to there's some great new oils that when we are taking the focus off ourselves too and putting a focus on others, and think about the value that we can bring to them by being our real selves. can be life-changing. And as one of my mentors, Fallon Zoe from the Lady Tribe, has said, is that everybody likes me, they just haven't met me yet. And I thought that's such a great attitude as we're just learning, because I know it's not easy sometimes to become vulnerable and take a mask off, right? I mean, it can be uncomfortable, especially if you're learning to trust again. Yeah, I totally get it, believe me. But what if we were to focus on the benefit that we could actually bring? Like, what difference could we make in other people's lives by being who we truly are and we're created to be, right? And again, I get it. I know for some of you, you're probably like, I can't even wrap my brain around that right now. You don't know my hurts, my traumas. I do understand. I really do. And I know a lot of us here will say, yeah, me too. I totally get it. But when you start to think about the fact that, again, what difference could you make in someone else's life? Also, maybe your story is something that other people need to hear. They've just been waiting their whole lives to hear it from you. Seriously, it really, it's like, okay, can you wrap your brain around that? And that's, I get it. It's just like, okay, I'm getting it. I'm going through. Another thing too is, another way to help with unpeeling our mask is finding a common ground with the other people. Because then if we can find a common ground, let's say a hobby or something, it's easier to engage with each other, which then we're building those bridges of trust, right? We feel more comfortable to open up, and then we get to reveal more. And another thing too, I thought was a really neat idea. If you're struggling with just facing those fears, is basically like face your mask and name your hopes and your fears. And like on a piece of paper, like make a column and put all your hopes and fears about what you want other people to know about you. Does that kind of make sense? So then on one side, on your fears, put words that will actually tackle it. So like for your, I'm trying to think, you have a fear of large crowds. Okay. And so in that column, put a little arrow and then say, well, how would you maybe work your way up? Start in groups of 3 or 4 and then make them larger and larger as an example. And then in that hope column, the hopes that you want people to know about you, or what you hope people would know about you, that you are a very compassionate person, or that you are a very, what do you call it? One who likes to bond with people really well. Then write hopes, I would like people to know that I'm very compassionate and I reach out. I can't think of the word. If you think of the word I'm trying to go for, can you comment below? Because I'm like, I can't think of the word it is. But you like to make connections, and you want other people to know about that. Then you write a little arrow next to it. And what would be a good idea? Oh, actually, I'll give you an idea. A friend of mine did this today, and she sent me a little thinking of you card, and it was nothing big that we did, but I just thought, wow, this was so powerful. She just was thanking me that we took a little girls day to one of my favorite places where we learned about how to make our own sauerkraut and kombucha and all that kind of stuff. And it was just so thoughtful. I thought, that's really powerful. I didn't know that about her. And I just learned that she loves to send cards. And isn't that like a kind of a lost art? And who wouldn't like to get a nice little, just a little thank you, thinking of you card in the mail? Who wouldn't, right? And that was something I learned about her. And I wouldn't have known that unless she had stepped out and done that. So that's my suggestion. If you guys try that, if you do the hopes and fears evaluation, let me know how that goes. Comment below, share with our community here, because that's what it's all about. So another really neat thing about is when you're sharing your authentic self, it really makes you even more interesting. You don't know how interesting you are until you share, right? So even, I'll tell you, I know those fears can get in the way. I struggled with the fact that I'm a larger person, and for now, but I'm in the healing process, and I'm on this amazing journey of just healing emotionally, physically, and all that good stuff. And I love to bring people in on that journey. But I used to feel like how can I talk about health and wellness? And I'm not a skinny, fitness model. How can I stand up before people and talk about health and wellness and emotional healing and physical healing and all that good stuff? And then I realized, yeah, but there's so much more too, versus the little stick figure. There's so much more that I can bring to my clients, just like you can to your clients, your families, friends, associates, etc. That is so interesting. But we have to take that mask off, and we have to be willing to be vulnerable, because the last thing too is when we really are truly being ourselves and being authentic, and we've taken off those masks, we can achieve our goals because we are not in the way of ourselves. Okay, I'm going to say that again. So when we take off our masks, we're able to achieve our goals because we are not in our own way. Does anybody agree? Does that resonate with anyone? Comment below for sure if that just resonates with you, and any thoughts. And yeah, but I'm still really scared. Well, that's okay. That's totally okay, because we're all in process. And in fact, just think about it. You can use frankincense essential oil. That is actually the oil of truth. And one of the emotional ways that it can support you is by applying it on the back of your neck. You can put it on your tongue, you put it on your throat. It's a powerful brain oil, and there's no woohoo anything about it. It's just how frankincense, as an organic aromatic compound, how it works very powerfully with our brain and crosses the blood-brain barrier. So it's actually very much at the chemical level, and as well, that there's a lot of good stuff that goes on. That's a whole science lesson in itself, but it does help, and it's very soothing and comforting as well. So anyway, just wanted to share a little bit more about that, and definitely please comment below if you found this of value. And my dogs apparently like it, because they're just jumping around here wrestling with each other. That's what you're hearing. They're having fun, and they didn't even have any candy, so I'm not sure what they're all riled up about. But anyway, thanks so much for joining. We'll see you tomorrow, 9 o'clock, close to 9 as possible, as always, every day of the week. And just thank you so much for joining. Thank you if you're joining in here on the replay. Again, if you found this of value, please share with your family, friends. Comment below any thoughts, comments, questions. And just thanks so much for joining, and have a good evening. Bye-bye now.